The movie opens on New Year's Eve in Baltimore. Parties are loud and lively, people drinking, laughing, celebrating everywhere. Then, without warning, horror erupts. A ruthless sniper starts firing from a distance, picking off anyone in his sights across several buildings. Nearby, rookie cop Eleanor is handling a small argument outside a cafe between the owner and a drunk customer. Her radio crackles with an urgent call. All units drop minor stuff and head to the plaza. She races over. By now, the sniper has already claimed 25 victims, 17 confirmed dead. Eleanor reaches a house where a teenage boy lies shot through the window. Investigators trace the bullets back to a specific 17th floor apartment nearby. Moments later, that exact apartment explodes in a fireball, sending the whole building into chaos. Terrified residents pour out into the streets. Still in shock, Eleanor starts recording video on her phone, hoping to catch the shooter blending into the fleeing crowd. Police and firefighters push into the smoke-filled building. Eleanor joins them and enters the ruined apartment, no bodies inside. The thick smoke overwhelms her. She passes out briefly. Detective Mack rushes over, slips an oxygen mask on her, and steadies her. FBI Chief Investigator Jeffrey Landmark arrives on scene. The team tells him the apartment belongs to a Norwegian man now in Oslo. He got it as debt repayment and has been trying to sell it ever since. Back at the station, Landmark briefs everyone on the key details of the case. Later, he pushes Deputy Governor Capleton to shut down the highways and trap the killer. But Capleton refuses, says it would spark public panic and hurt the governor's image. In a quiet moment, Eleanor chats with another officer about the shooter. Landmark overhears and asks her take. She says the killer isn't just random, he's chasing some deep inner relief. That's why he kept going until 29 dead. If it was only about the act, he probably would have stopped after the first couple. Landmark, surprised, asks why the killer stopped at 29. Eleanor shrugs. Maybe he got the relief he needed that night. Her words hit Landmark hard. The next morning, Eleanor's boss calls Landmark wants her ASAP. Confused, she heads to a cafe and finds him arguing with Deputy Governor Capleton again. Capleton still won't shut down highways or take extra steps, then storms off. Eleanor sits with Landmark. He offers her a spot on the FBI team not just for her insight, but because her mind seems twisted enough to match the killer's. Detective Mack arrives, and Landmark says the three of them are now a unit. At the morgue, a chill settles over them as they face the 29 bodies. The precision screams military training no amateur could pull this off. The victims span every race, age, and gender. No obvious pattern or link. An officer bursts in, they found the killer. The trio races to the scene. SWAT surrounds a building. FBI agent Frank explains the suspect is a teenage boy living right above the exploded apartment. He barricaded himself during questioning and threatened to kill everyone. The kid fits the profile. ADHD, bullied at school, skips classes, watches ISIS videos nonstop. Landmark isn't convinced. Eleanor points out the mattress in the exploded apartment. Why would the killer keep one there if he lived upstairs? Frank brushes it off. SWAT storms in. Panicked, the boy bolts for his bedroom window and jumps. He dies on impact. No weapon is found. Dead end. Frustrated, Landmark tracks down the painters hired 2 years ago to redo the apartment. They had keys back then. Rodney, Haynes, and Dimitri come in for questioning. All three have solid alibis for New Year's Eve. Rodney stays calm, but Haynes and Dimitri get angry, resenting being dragged in for an old painting job. Days later, at a mall, an old man tries on clothes in a fitting room. He steps out for another item, then returns and realizes his original clothes are gone. In the mall bathroom, a thin, mysterious man washes himself with body wash. Turns out he's the one who stole the old man's clothes. Another customer spots him, disgusted, and alerts security. Guards rush in, but the thief slips away. They catch up to him in the cafeteria, trying to swipe leftover food. He refuses to open his bag, stonewalling them. Cut to Eleanor at a gun shop, questioning the owner about the sniper's weapon. Her phone rings mid-conversation, another horror unfolding. She races to the mall and finds chaos bodies of civilians and officers everywhere. Heart heavy, she joins Landmark and Mack in the security room to review CCTV. The footage shows a tall, thin white man over 6 feet, face always hidden under a hood. They spot his original shirt before he entered the bathroom and decide to test it for DNA. Eleanor points out he didn't come to kill, he came for food, clothes, and a wash. He only took vegetables from plates, so he's likely vegetarian. Landmark notes the flawless execution. The man wasn't just army trained, he was raised around expert shooters. They watch in silence as he calmly sets grenades in a trash can, wiping out several officers in one blast. The dumped clothes are already gone, taken by the garbage truck before the shooting. Desperate, Mac and Eleanor head to the landfill and dig through endless trash heaps, searching for the shirt. Back at headquarters, Landmark faces heat from superiors, and Capleton, who's obsessed with shielding the governor's image. Mac and Eleanor return with the stained clothes, giving the team a faint spark of hope. A news anchor airs mall footage, asking viewers for tips on the killer. Eleanor digs deeper into the painters. Rodney's bank records surprise her. He juggled multiple jobs at once. Lab results on the shirt show brittle hair fragments, typical in people with past severe head trauma. On TV, tip lines light up. One caller speaks strangely, saying he's proud of the killer soldier. On TV, the strange caller boasts he's part of the Invisible Army, a group fighting a rigged system. When the anchor pushes back, the man threatens to kill him and go after his daughter in her college dorm. He drops too many specific details about the killer. The FBI traces the call, gets his name, spots his car, and scrambles a helicopter with SWAT to grab him. They learn he's tied to the NRA, hates the government, liberals, and Jews. Landmark and Eleanor doubt if the real killer works alone. No group, no ideology, but orders come from above, pushed by the governor's office. They have to follow through. The caller and his buddies pull up to a store, laughing about pranking the anchor and spooking the cops. Eleanor and Max slip inside undercover to watch. Eleanor quietly warns a few shoppers to leave. An old man misses her whisper and asks her to speak up loud enough to catch a thug's ear. Suspicion flares. More officers swarm in, guns drawn. Gunfire explodes. Most of the group drops dead. The last man tries to shoot, but gets tased and cuffed. In custody, he cracks the whole thing was a prank. No invisible army exists. The next day, a disciplinary panel tears into Landmark for incompetence and bad calls that cost lives. He argues it wasn't his choice, but the senior official shuts him down. He's in charge, so it's on him. She even drags up Eleanor's past rejected by the FBI once, history of addiction. Landmark defends her, but they want a scapegoat. After a brutal meeting, both Landmark and Eleanor pulled from the case and stripped of their roles. Back home, Eleanor crumbles total breakdown. Then clarity hits. She races out in the middle of the night to confront Rodney. She hits him with the multiple jobs, suggesting he outsourced work to someone who could be the killer. Rodney denies it at first. His wife yells at him to come clean. He caves. Eleanor calls Landmark over. Rodney admits he hired immigrants, ex-cons, anyone desperate enough to work cheap. He brought them lunch every day. One guy stood out, Dean, a vegan who skipped meat and dairy. When Rodney asked why, Dean said he used to work in a slaughterhouse after that. He couldn't eat meat anymore. Rodney, sweating, admits Dean's height and build matched the mall shooter perfectly. The team calls in a sketch artist right away. Rodney helps draw Dean's face. With only 3 slaughterhouses in town, they hit each one, showing the sketch to workers. No luck at first. At the last place, an old woman recognizes him instantly, Dean Pazzi. She says he was quiet, hardworking, never a problem. But his supervisor, Alonzo, bullied him nonstop over his oddly shaped head. Alonzo died gruesomely, fell into the meat grinder. Eleanor pulls Dean's file. His father was Army, taught him to shoot. Parole came early, backed by letters from 2 of his dad's old Army buddies. As a kid, Dean got shot in the head, survived, but with serious trauma. No credit cards, no address, no social security. He's a ghost. They head to Dean's mother's house. Eleanor wants to call Mac for backup, but Landmark stops her. FBI swarm could ruin everything. Mrs. Pazzi arrives home. She knows why they're there, but clams up, scared they'll kill her son. Landmark promises they want him alive. Reluctantly, she lets them in. She says the last time she saw Dean was during the pandemic. He used to be a bright, happy boy. At 6, his father accidentally shot him in the head, nearly fatal. He recovered, but changed completely, grew to hate the world, withdrew from everyone. His dad trained him for the army, but they rejected him. He wasn't aggressive enough back then. Eleanor glances out the window, 2 teacups, a man's shirt drying on the line. A small shed sits in the yard. She tries to alert Landmark. Too late. A shot cracks from the shed. Landmark drops, dead. Mrs. Pazzi hisses at Eleanor, "Don't move, or you're next." Mrs. Pazzi reminds Eleanor of her vow to take Dean alive, pressing her on how she'll make it happen. Shaken, Eleanor hands over her phone and gun, urging the woman to talk him down. Mrs. Pazzi steps into the yard, voice cracking as she begs Dean to end the killings and give up. She promises Eleanor can use his medical records to keep him out of prison. Silence from the shed. Frustration builds. In a gut-wrenching moment, Mrs. Pazzi turns the gun on herself and fires. Dean staggers out, grief-stricken, rifle clutched tight. He enters the house and faces Eleanor. His fury, he says, isn't aimed at anyone specific. It's the whole broken modern world he despises. Eleanor nods softly. She gets it. She's felt that darkness too sometimes. They talk, tension thick, words hanging heavy. Slowly, trust flickers. Dean says he'll lie down beside his mother. Then, once asleep, he wants Eleanor to shoot him and burn the body no corpse on the news. She agrees, but tires screech a police car pulls up. Dean's eyes flash betrayal. He cracks her with the rifle butt, hauls her limp body to the basement, and binds her wrists. Outside, an officer yells for the door. Dean answers with bullets, dropping him cold. Another call's backup gets gunned down too. Sirens wail as more cops surround the house. Bound in the dim basement, Eleanor pleads with Dean to stop, promises to untie her and handle the police herself. The officers edge closer, fingers on triggers. Before they fire, a bomb detonates. Explosion rocks the house, debris flying. In the smoke and chaos, Eleanor lunges, sinking her teeth into Dean's neck. Blood gushes. He reels, but doesn't fight back instead. He stumbles out the door, rifle in hand. Eleanor twists free and climbs upstairs. She spots Mac amid the wreckage, gasps that Dean's hurt but alive. In the open fields behind the house, Dean limps away. Police flood in, spot him collapsed, neck torn and bleeding. He raises his rifle one last time. Bullets tear through the air. He crumples. Gone. Later, Eleanor faces her superior in Capleton. They demand to cover up all glory to the FBI and governor. They offer her an analyst job for her silence. She pushes back Honor Landmark with the Medal of Valor posthumously, send his pension to his wife, and make her a special agent, not desk-bound. The officials head to a press conference. Eleanor walks home alone, shadows of Landmark's death clinging to her every step.